people?
So, this is a 2 hour long video. Um, Honestly, I haven't even watched it yet. I'm gonna upload it and then watch it on the TV downstairs. But I think 75% of it is just me reading my tips on how not to be abducted. So, that's a topic that interests you, then stick around. I talk a lot about life, and hopefully the video is as good as it felt to get out. So sometimes it's good just to talk and let out all the thoughts. That's how I feel, anyways. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and God bless.
What's up, people? What's up, guys?
Alright. So, what are we doing here? Should I give an update, or what should we do? What's happening with me is, what a freaking headache my life is. This should have been taken care of so long ago. I'm trying to get this stupid form, processed, and I'm so handicapped when it comes to like doing this sort of thing. And it's a form to lift the restriction and let me back home so I could prepare my house to sell it. And really, it's up to the police. They're pressing charges on me, and they're literally holding me captive here, and I'm not allowed visiting my own house. Like, so I'm trying to get a paper filled or processed or complete. However I'm gonna do that, I have no idea. I'm getting the worst fucking treatment, and then I'm gonna hopefully get it signed in a few weeks by a crown attorney if they agree, and I'm sure they will. Like 3 months away from home for like a person that is not violent, and I've been sober since, like, and I have no will to use ever again. I have my medication, and I'm happy, and I'm starting to stay optimistic about the future. And I called this cop, that threw me in handcuffs, and he's investigating 2 or 3 times now. Very politely, I asked to, can I go back to my house, or can you call me back? And I haven't received any call back. Like, I just don't understand. Like, the lack of communication skills from this man is just incredible. Like, and just the treatment I got at the police station was so unbelievable for such a kind person like me, and my intentions were in the right place. Good luck. Nobody would respond to me. Nobody would give me toilet paper. Like, it's scary. It's a scary situation we have here. And, that's one of the reasons why I want a trailer and get out of here. But I just think that would be such a beautiful idea. And it's been something that I've been, we'll say, fantasizing about for some time now. So yeah, nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to help, nobody wants to communicate, and I'm kind of just trapped here. So I guess this is just a little update, because making a video for me is a happy thing. I hold myself to a standard. It gives me a reason to kind of look good, dress up, and take care of myself, and kind of, like document my thoughts almost, and it's just a special thing for me. This video will probably end up on private, but whatever. You know, and yeah, so feel free to view my playlist. Um, I liked browsing mobile homes. The first one was my favorite, and you know, my life is just crazy. Like, I had so many things happen, and I just had to speak. I just had to get it out and release it, and you know, and that's why I just want to leave this stuff in the playlist and just move forward. You know, I'll probably unlist some of my videos soon just to get them out of videos and kind of. I like to, you know, sharpen my channel up and not have all this stuff just lingering. You know, I like it when it's like when you could see things that are important to me and not just this collage of random things going on, you know, and you have a freaking, it looks like hell. And I really want to work on that. So yeah, I will have to make new playlists. YouTube doesn't let me move the playlist around. It's just like oldest to newest, so it's gonna take some work. What a pain in the ass, but and yeah, man, what a crappy police station we have. And yeah, so I guess that's my update. I've had really sore legs recently, and I'm assuming it's from climbing over the gate downstairs that kind of prevents my dog from running up the stairs. Um, but it's like right in my, I don't know, it's like my thighs almost. I'll show you guys. Another excuse to show my butt up. It's like when I stand up, it hurts. It's like, honestly, it's in my right butt cheek right now, but it's like right here. And sometimes it's in the left, sometimes it's in the right, but yeah. Oh, I could feel it like right there. It's like, oh, oh, Jesus. It hurts, and it feels like a muscle thing. But anyway, so I'm here. Maybe I've been shaking my butt like a little bit too aggressively or something. I want to keep the wiggle going. It's not easy. Oh. Kind of have to go like this. I can't. This web camera doesn't even really pick it up, so. Oh. Oh, Jesus. I'm not sure what it is. I should go to the doctor, but every time, like, oh man. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Yeah, anyways. I'm hoping to be able to move forward in my life soon. And that's pretty much that, you know. I've been been through so much, and I just want to be able to move into the future, you know. I'm sober, I'm happy, I'm healthy. I recognize my faulty position in the past, using drugs and yada yada yada. And I've learned my lessons, and I really just want this charge to be scrapped, thrown out, so I could move forward. And as it is, I have to sell some of my stuff and prepare my house to sell. And I'm in a bit of a credit card debt. I can't afford my bills right now, and I'm not smart with my money. So this guy not responding to me, and I feel like it's a personal vendetta or something. Um, you know, it's like a personal attack on me. And how I see it is, you can't expect people to understand what you've been through, and sometimes it just has to do with jealousy or whatever. And it is what it is. We walk different paths, obviously, and can't expect you to understand, or even, you know, to be able to reason, or um, be cooperative, or and I'm not going to teach you how to think and communicate. Like, you should know this by now. So hopefully he's got a change of heart soon, or whatever. But weird, man. Pretty sure that was the guy that freaking fingerprinted me and said that comment. But fuck, man. Everybody just looked like such a dick in that police station. It was so hard to, like, I don't know. I just was fucked. These people walk like a completely different path in their life, and I would like to see who's hiring these people, because it's just very interesting. Um, the lack of leadership and understanding, and you know, the capability of, what am I looking for? I just seem like it feels to me like we're not headed in the direction that is ideal for our community. And I have every right to feel this way, like every right. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about it, because we'd be here all day. But the lack of compassion for, you know, their fellow civilian is just absent, and it scares me. Like, I do feel like we have a major problem in this area and in this country, but I haven't really left this area much, so I don't really want to speak about that. But I just want to say, for the police, or anybody in a group of people, when you associate with a group, you are responsible for what they are doing, and accountable. Um, if one guy is messing up, he represents your group, and he must be dealt with, or they or she must be dealt with. Um, and this is the problem: is we have a lack of leadership, and instead of taking the right approach, and holding someone accountable, they take on part of that um, irresponsibility that the person has, and and they aren't doing anything about a situation that should be handled. You know, it's just a cover up after cover up, and this whole country, we have such a big problem here. Um, you know, it's scary. Sex slavery, child prostitution, you know, date rape, all this shit is happening here. And it's funny because I was watching this guy's video. Um, he's a burn victim. His name is Him Kardashian, I think. And he was saying that bad is inevitable and good in you need bad so you know what good is. And without public information, you know, lots hidden from us, we don't really understand why it's important to be good. So a lot of people think it's cool, they listen to Eminem or whatever, and they think it's cool to be bad. And we don't realize, some of us don't realize until it's too late, why good is so important. And we need to lead by example and speak up about things that we feel is important in our own life. Um, it always seems like the person on the microphone or spotlight, in the spotlight, always has like poor, um, they don't have the ability to be like to take leadership over a situation that needs to be handled appropriately. And you know, it's just incredible. um, where was I getting to here? um, like, don't be silent about things that bother you. And what was I getting at? Jesus. um, let's just hang out here for a second. Maybe it'll pop up. Oh, so we need good to, you know, good and evil. Evil's um, inevitable, and it's there to remind us why it's important to be good. And you know, some of us, like, I've had to experience a lot of hardships in my life, and that's why it's morality is important. You know, treat others how you want to be treated, and you don't know how important that statement is until you're treated poorly. Um, but I feel like that, you know, this is a topic that could be discussed for hours and hours, and it's just so, it's so deep and inciting, you know. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll cut the video off here.
I know all the guys want to see me do a feminization video.
I'm just kidding. That video could have used a lot more work. The poem was kind of good, I wrote in it, but yeah. I sleep during the day and I'm up all night. It's really not good. here. I made a video before this too, because I just like to talk. This is a vlog, and but it's good just to be able to let things out and off my head, like clear my mind. All right, um, it's very important, and I don't necessarily recommend my channel. Like, if you're just an average civilian, like, I want you, I want you to be happy, and I want you to live your life and take something positive from me. I hope I inspire you in a positive way. But I have a battle that I feel like I'm up against, just to speak my life, and and you know, there's a lot of things going on that you may not be able to see, and if I drive you nuts, please just turn it off. I don't want to destroy anybody's life or inspire anything um, that may, you know, drive you nuts or whatever. Maybe the ancient civilization stuff is for you. I know it intrigues me very deeply, but I can't focus on this stuff right now because of all the difficulties in my life, and that's why I'm not healthy for the average civilian. I feel like I literally just talked about nothing for 20 minutes, and you know, make plans for your future. Don't be afraid to comment or email me either, but make plans for your future. Do something that makes you happy, because that's what the whole message is here. And to educate yourself and be smart and understand what kind of dangers are in our communities or whatever. Like, I wrote this this thing here. One sec. You know, how do I do this again? I wrote this list. If you go to post, you can come down here. I know I'm cute, guys. Not all at once. The perfect, what do they call that? The perfect co-pilot right there. Anyways, okay, right here. Basically, it's gonna sound crazy, but hey, the world is crazy, so of course it's gonna sound crazy, you know. How to lower the possibility of kidnap, rape, and murder, and it's not done. Buy myself the lamb. Be unaware, and you can be a victim. I kind of screwed that up already, but learn how to communicate and think effectively. Learn to speak up and use your outdoor voice to alert people, you know. Remember, there is a possibility when alerting others, someone may come to your aid and may be involved in their scheme. Never trust anyone in a dangerous situation till help is without a reasonable doubt. There is no shortage of criminal activity or organizations out there. Be aware and be careful. And maybe I should go all through this whole list, but look at me. Like, I am obviously an innocent person. I am a human, but you know, I'm innocent, and I just don't understand why I got all these cars driving by me, and this is why I'm like, you know, I'm always like questioning myself. I'm like, am I getting framed? Um, is somebody like, what the hell is going on? And why is everybody too afraid to speak to me? Like, and it's got me like questioning everything. I'm like, I am missing a van key. Like, what the hell is going on? And obviously, it's not something. I don't know. Anyways, that's my problem. It's not your problem. And I think I'm just grabbing things out of thin air, and I'm like, is this going on? Is that going on? But who do you talk to when the police have some sort of grudge against you? Like it's so bad. Like I wish I could actually, I wish I had somebody to talk to, I wish somebody would ask me a question, but it is what it is. Anyways, so um, I have no idea what's going on, but I am an innocent person. I am a good civilian, and it's just incredible. So, but learn to communicate effectively. Like, don't be using slang words and this sort of thing, because it will. Because you never know when you're gonna need to be able to um, express yourself, or you never know how much you'd be able to learn by learning new words in the English language. If you don't know a word, go to Google and Google it, and it'll blow your mind how much smarter you will get. Um, you know, so never cooperate with a criminal with a gun or knife. You are most likely to be left alone. Plus, it could always be a fake gun. Carry pepper spray. I know I'd rather take the risk and die on the side of the road than live under someone's dominion. The truth is, the consequences of obeying them are hideous, and most likely fatal. But so we're talking about getting abducted. We're not talking about standing in a convenience store and somebody grabs you and puts and tries to rob the store. Because if that was the case, you just, okay, get your money, get the hell out of here, get the hell away from me. But in most conditions, I'd say don't even let anybody grab you, and that's just my opinion, you know. But careful for stun guns and other weapons, and even a bullet that hits you in the hip or spine could paralyze you and make you unable to defend. And but that's what a stun gun does. If you get hit with like a taser, um, and criminals have them. I doubt the integrity of my own local police department. So, if one of these hit you, you're going down and you can't move, and you're at the will of somebody else. So, and the cops in my area don't even have body cam footage, which makes me think this is why they're acting so irresponsibly, because they're not held accountable for it. So I recommend always pulling the phone out. And but the so stupid. Like I literally took full responsibility. I could have literally walked off a crime scene, but I stood there and I waited for the cops to come. I made sure they knew it was me that did it, because they would have never known. And I even said, "Hey, can you grab my phone from my van? I have a video of me doing it." And so they took it. I said, "I'm not violent, you know this." I put my hands behind my back, and I let him put me in the back of the car, non-violently. And now this guy won't pick up his phone. He won't give me my phone back, and it's a part of an investigation. Meanwhile, I heard a scream in there, and they never looked. So, investigating me, really? Because he refused an investigation. I'm over this, I am willing just to say, okay, you know, I'm delusional. I'm not a fucking cop. I'm not doing nothing for this shit. I just want to get the hell away from here, and that's it, you know? Um, like, it's just incredible, um, the immorality of people that should be acting reasonably. It's scary, and it really makes you question, like, what the hell is wrong here? I'm gonna put this here, probably get a better view.
More of me in there. I know you guys all want that.
Anyways, always be cautious of strangers when you're alone. People hide in trees and bushes at night. Yes, people are capable of this sort of um, disgusting activity. Develop relationships with people who are morally competent. Um, you know, they exist out there, okay? Good people exist in the world. You will thank yourself in the long run. Be patient. Um, and I'm not sure why I put those two together, but people do lure, and we'll elaborate on that eventually. It's just like um, don't do long distance relationships because you never know. Like it could be somebody in your city um, just trying to get you away from your house. That way, when you go missing, they don't know where to look. Oh, he hopped on the train. We don't, you know, like when you watch crime shows like the first 48 and stuff, you think, wow, you know, we are safe, and look how much investigating goes into the like into this. Trust me, sometimes it's not like this in our communities, and there's barely any effort to find anybody. Like on the Niagara Review in my city, they talk about weeds in a garden, even though there's people going missing. There's a girl that's been missing for 3 months now, maybe four, and her face should be in that paper every single day till they find her. You know, just stuff like this. Um, who gives a shit about weeds in the garden at the casino? They make billions of dollars, and this seems to be a city where they're like, oh, let's hide all the criminal activity. Why? People are fascinated with this sort of thing, and it wouldn't even deter people from visiting our city. But, we got wealthy people that are doing criminal activity here. And that's what I believe, and I'm entitled to express that opinion or voice it. So, we want answers, and we can handle the truth as people. Like, we can handle the truth, okay? And the truth will make us smarter, more educated, and it will keep us safe. So, um, like, we're entitled to information, okay? And it's just incredible. Like, so many secrets in this area. Um, Always check your back seat before you hop into your vehicle. Someone could be hiding in your back seat waiting for you to enter your vehicle and buckle up. You would be surprised how easy it is to become unaware of this. All it takes is a tube, pump, and airbag to insert a metal hook and open a vehicle door. People can hide in a trunk or even a garbage can. Don't estimate someone's ability to hide. Like, really. Um, like, you could probably find one of these kits on Amazon, and for cheap. Cheaper than it would cost you to call somebody up and do it for you. It's incredible, and my brother's actually been a victim of somebody hiding in the freaking back seat, and it's sad. Like, he just wanted to hang out with a girl, and somebody's waiting in the back seat. Be careful for people that lure you. You might think everything's great. You hop in there, you're going for a little cruise, get a coffee, and then somebody pops up in the back and grabs you by the neck and robs you. So never be too comfortable. Never, if it's a stranger or whatever, be careful, because people hide their intentions very well, or you may not be able to pick up on the little signs of deception, or may just be a person who's very alone and is seeking company, and is willing to accept them because, it's just the way it is, right? I've accepted strangers in my house because I was alone, and it's sad, but it's better to be patient than just than just have a stranger over because you're lonely. Be patient, and start to realize that what a good person is and what they look like, and it's interesting, um, because people are out there, And anyways, I like people that are, I always got along with people that are handicapped, or, stuff like this. Or maybe, you know, bigger than other people, or what some people might think as, ugly or whatever, their teeth aren't straight, whatever the case may be. These are always like the kind people, the innocent people, and a way I'm relating it to, and the most humble and understanding people. And, it's important not to be racist, not to fat shame, this and that. And let's remember, this is a temporary vehicle. We're here to learn lessons, and this is a physical body where we are different in another place. So if you happen to be a person with a slow metabolism or something, just remember, like, that's a temporary body, and in a whole nother place. It's not like that, you know. It's I just find that interesting, but and I don't really want to say it because I sound like a psychopath saying it, but um, you know, there's this video, and it was an NDE, a near-death experience, and this guy talks about how he had a near-death experience, and how he went to heaven, and he's looking at his own body, and he was muscular, and he was like 8 feet tall, and his friends were there, and they were talking to him, and they were all like giants. It's so strange, but this is what I believe is, life is so much more special and intricate than we could ever understand. Although don't drive yourself crazy with the religious stuff. Accept Jesus in your life, and and you know and live a moral life, and that's it. You don't have to freaking um, you don't have to drive yourself nuts over this. Jesus loves you regardless, and Jesus just wants you to open up your heart to him, um, and that's it, but and for anybody of other religious faiths, you're entitled to your own beliefs, and I respect that, you know like, if you believe in the Quran or something, um, there's nothing wrong with that. um, I was born uh, Catholic, so this is what I do, right? I believe in Jesus, and you know and I've never had a problem with Muslim people, actually. um, Very smart people, and they have very strong communities, but we need to be respectful when we extend ourselves to one another, and I see a lot of, well, I've heard in the past things that were hateful towards um, Muslim people, and I'm sure they may do it to us, but I've never got that from them, but it's an old way of thinking, and we need to lose that way of thinking. Like, I like Muslim people, so from they live in a pretty scary like um, they come from a pretty scary place, right? And you know and they're well behaved people, like, and of course you're always going to get the bad um, one of a community. That happens with all of us: white, black, brown, yellow, gray, green, whatever. You get the idea, right? Don't let one person represent an entire community, because that is just wrong. And never relate people to one another because they have a similarity. Everybody is their own person, and And it's not fair to do to somebody, stereotype them, you know. Um, but that is so important. Give everybody their own respect. Everybody's got their own identity, and never compare somebody to somebody else, you know. Um, okay, so let's go on to this topic again. All right.
Come on, guys, you're getting sidetracked over there. What are you doing?
Stay mindful of your environment at home. You would be surprised who is watching you. Basically, never get too comfortable, you know, where you don't think about. Never trust your neighbors to the point you don't question their intentions of you. Um, People are sneaky. If your privacy's open, someone will get curious eventually. I suggest you don't leave your blinds or curtains open at nighttime. If you are jogging or walking at nighttime, then don't leave yourself unaware to your environment if you are alone. Headphones, etc. I recommend jogging or hiking as a daytime activity, 100%, especially if you're alone. But so back to this. People are sneaky. If your privacy is open, someone may get curious eventually. Okay, just say you got grandma and grandpa living next door, old people, right? Well, you might not know, but maybe their grandson just got out of jail and needs somewhere to sleep or live for a little while, and you don't know this. Well, sure, grandma and grandpa are good people and you trust them and you've had dinner with them or pizza, whatever, but they might, you know, you might just say you don't know their grandson's there. He might come over and look through your window because you're so comfortable with these people. Or maybe somebody passing by might see an opportunity, and they might be like, oh wow, this person's privacy is wide open. There's no cars in the driveway. Let's peek through the window. So this is what I'm saying is don't get too confident, don't get too comfortable, because this is when accidents take place. And there was in Welland, apparently recently. So I went to court the other day, and apparently that same day that I had court, another guy was there, and this guy was raped like a little boy, right? He went to jail, and he got out, and he was staying at his dad's in Welland, and isn't this crazy? Gets out of jail, and he's staying at his father's, and I don't know much details about this, and this is the first I heard about it at the court, and so he somehow broke into a nearby residence, and he freaking raped a 3-year-old and messed her up permanently. She needed surgery and everything, but it's these things we don't realize they actually happen. Like we think these nobody's capable of that. People are capable of it, and it's scary because it's always that time, right? People might think, oh, how did the parents let their guard down and the 3-year-old sleeping in? It'll be that one time when you lay your child down and you get comfortable, and wow, it'll be that one time that accident happens. You know, they were probably, that child was probably supervised 24/7. And it was the one time the parents were exhausted and laid their head down confidently, like, okay, everything is going to be fine. That's exactly when it happened. So I'm saying, like, people are capable of malicious things. And nobody in that community knew that guy was around there. And how crazy is that? Like, this guy raped a little boy, um, and he's awaiting, like, he's on, I don't know how this crap works, but he was taken out of jail. He's waiting at his dad's. He had to live with his surety, and he did this. Like, and if the person's neighbor didn't have a camera, they would have never known who this guy was, most likely. Um, but how scary is that? And this guy might be released one day. This is the type of guy that is a reoffender. He will be killing people in the future. He will never stop raping people. Because who the hell rapes a little boy, first of all, and then gets released from jail, and he's with his surety, and he does it again. He breaks in, and he fucking raped a 3-year old. Like, how messed up is that? Like, it. There's no way he's with general population, because, honest to God, um, I would honestly, if I was in jail, I would like. I want this guy's address when he gets out, if he gets out, and if nobody fucking beats the shit out of him. Like, fuck this guy. He just handicapped. We don't realize, like, the extent of this. Okay, that that little person that got raped, they're gonna be a freaking. This is fucked up. But hold on, I just lost my train of thought. I'm getting hyper here. Like, I'm getting freaking hyper. All right. Um, okay. Let's remember. Okay, that little child. I don't know how damaged they are, but that is gonna fuck with that child for the rest of their life, and it could either turn them into like a super empathetic genius. They might be a judge one day, or whatever, or they might be hooked on fucking heroin and or fentanyl or whatever, and like, this person is gonna be disabled for the rest of their life, and all because, and this guy's gonna get let out of jail, and this guy should be executed. And honest to God, I wish, this is gonna sound very strange, but I wish that I could, that the prison system will let me do this, police department, whatever. I wish that I could speak to this guy one on one in a room, and and ask him questions, because I'm really, really curious about the psychology of somebody like this. I want to understand, like, it's like an onion, okay? Psychotherapy, like, starting at the very first seed, and what happened in the development for you to end up this fucked up, like, and this um arrogant, and disassociated from compassion to another person. Like, literally, like, something is so bad there that I just, it would be interesting to see what this person's childhood was like, and apparently they have Asperger's or something. This, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, Asperger's would not make you do this. There is something going on up here, and I'd be really, really curious to find out, like, what this person's childhood was like, and what really happened to make them act in this sort of manner, because it is so barbaric and so inhumane. It's one thing to get curious, and um, you know, people, like, let's not beat around the bush here. We're humans, and maybe if the guy was looking at some soft core crap, like, he sees a child on the internet and he's like, oh, interested, and then he grew up from that, and he's like, that's not right, or something, that's immoral, and whatever. Because people on the internet, let's be real, people dress their kids up, they put lipstick and eyeliner, and they try to make them look, you know sexual, um, but this is immoral and it's wrong. And but no, this guy literally like has a fetish for raping people, and it's just it's very interesting, and I wish I could understand the psychology, um, you know. But for somebody like me, I was raped as a child, okay, and I'm a different. I've never told anybody this, but I'm a. I've had weird struggles in my life, and it's something I've been wanting to speak of, but I was I felt feminine at a young age, but I was forced to bury it, and I didn't know what was going on for years. I just was silent, and it took till I was 26 years old to actually have some confidence. I wore my sister's bikini when I was like freaking 10 in the bathroom, but it's something that I forgot about. I just didn't want to think about, and I was ashamed of myself for doing it, which is sad, But so I created this addiction where I had to use drugs, feel okay, and I was cross dressing in my room, and I had a beard, like it was fucked up for a long time, and but it wasn't until I was 26 where I said I need to quit my job, focus on myself because I got some things here and my life is dysfunctional, and I threw the towel in pretty much, because I had to, and my life started getting happy, and that's where the copper colored hairs picture's coming from. I will share it in my post after this video, but it's the first time I was happy in my life, and then figures, right, my drug dealer poisoned me through my addiction, or whoever did, and it just went downhill. um, I kept embarrassing myself, whatever. But what I'm getting at here is I was silent and I was a victim, right? So, a part of my development as a, taking care of myself like this was I would, I was feminizing myself, and I almost felt like a little girl myself, which is hard to understand for your typical person that wasn't taken advantage of and treated like shit. But I looked up playhouses and stuff, and I wanted to kind of start my life over as reborn, and it might have looked weird from the outside, but it helped me personally on the inside. So if I was looking at, let's say, um, something that was rated, just say I'm watching, um, just say I'm playing with a Barbie doll, like it might look weird to somebody else, but to me, it was actually something that helped me. And because I never had toys, period. But, it's just, it's being able to, um, it's being able to grow as a person, and try to get some sort of foundation where I never had it. And it's very interesting, but I've wanted to tell people that for a while. And yeah, I was never able to get the playhouse, but um, I was also an addict, right? And you know, yeah. Um, I had to use drugs in order to. Hmm. Drugs were inevitable because I was in pain, I was depressed, I was suicidal. So, should I commit suicide or should I use the drugs? That's the only option I had. That's the only option I saw available. I was confused, working full time, had a lot of responsibility, um, had a lot of pressure on me, and I resorted to using drugs. And Sure, it made life hell, but in a way, it made, oh, my eyes itchy. It made me able to express and explore a side of me that I was ashamed of, and it was beautiful, you know. But it made it so much more difficult because, let's be honest, some of our parents don't make it easy to accept ourselves when we are different and colorful, and that's what the issue was. And so I used drugs for several years, and I ended up hospitalized twice, you name it. I ended up in rehab twice, um, detox. I've been to meetings, and this is why I want to share my story with people, is because if there's somebody out there struggling like I did, I want to reach them and I want to save them time. Um, you know, because sometimes you know, you have to admit that you're dysfunctional and you have to put yourself first in life. It is mandatory for some people that were victims, and instead of, oh, I gotta work full time and I can't let this go, and some like, and my life's disabled, but I have to keep going and going and going. No, you gotta sit back and you gotta put yourself first, and you have to come out of your shell and accept yourself in order to grow as a person. You don't have to make any permanent changes, but you have to, um, you know, you have to accept yourself and you must put time into you. And in my position, I was dysfunctional. I couldn't shave. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My nose was plugged every day. I couldn't breathe. I was dying. Um, this is all an understatement. I was dying, and I could not help myself. And the one thing that helped me was giving myself the time and accepting myself and expressing myself, and being okay with that. And this world is difficult to for a person like me to, to show themselves, because you have people like Chris Tyson, whatever, like people that get caught up with allegations with children and stuff. Being a being a transgender or cross dresser has made me love myself and understand and know why it's important that we look out for our children, you know. And if your son happens to be gay, or want to explore with colors, don't hold them back from that, because in the future he will have issues with drugs or whatever. We need to accept our children the way they are, and yeah, say our children. Like, I care. I've been that child, and let them be who they want to be. Don't coach them, nothing, but you know, let them be happy, and let them be colorful, and let them have a personality, and defend them. We live in a world full of bullies and people that are selfish and put us down, and which is why I'm kind of scared, because my message here is like, be humble and understand and this and that, and that's what I'm afraid of, because this is why I don't like to be a teacher, because when you're humble, which means a low level of importance, you're letting people stomp all over you, and you don't want that. Believe in yourself. You are more special than other people, okay? But don't take that as a reason to ignore others or be rude or stuff like that, okay? It's just making sure that you are functioning, you are stable, you are sustainable, and you will survive in this world, you know? And it's important, okay? Um, like, you deserve to feel as a person should, and and I don't want you to put yourself below anybody, okay? Um, anyways, you know, your future's important, and look out for it. Um, and just understand that the world isn't understanding sometimes, okay? And but educate yourself and be aware that people aren't smart, and maybe you're smarter than them. So, you know, I have that issue everywhere, or people are jealous too. But like, I freaking show my butt off in public, and it's pretty scary. Like, um, gotta remember, like, well, first of all, I have issues meeting people, but we do have to be careful with, you know, seduction and stuff. Um, anyways, okay. Um, um, 'Cause this world is dangerous, and some people don't like getting consent, okay, and they want to take advantage of people, and just be careful for that. Don't be like gullible and stuff. Keep yourself safe. Um, okay, so be aware if you are on a consistent schedule, then you could be a predictable target for someone else. And people calculate, you know, that's what criminals do, is they premeditate, and very rarely will they act randomly and without any sort of premeditated thought. So be careful. Somebody might know exactly when you take the garbage out, walk the dog, brush your teeth, whatever. So be aware, okay? Um, Always make sure you have a solid break-in proof living situation. Also, be careful who you're letting in. That's very important. Sometimes that's the problem, is not how solid our you know, we might have the tightest freaking living situation. It's impossible to break in, but it might be the person that we open the door for, which may be the problem. So be conscious, people. Um, you can never be too prepared. Take precautions. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. Um, Windows, doors, attic, garage doors, basement windows, AC units, like the units, like window units, but basement windows, especially, people. These are very, very important to make sure they're locked, and you know, because very rarely, some of us don't even go into our basements often, so that's an important one. Um, so make sure everything is considered. Avoid hiding a spare key or keeping separate keys in a drawer that isn't kept private. Consider putting a bell on your windows and doors, which is a very smart idea, you know, but avoid hiding a spare key. This is true. You never know who's hiding and who sees it, and who knows who's eavesdropping. You just never know who ends up finding it when they're around, you know. So, and people could know where your key is. They could go have it remade in an hour and be back and put it back under the rock or whatever. So be careful. Even with garage door codes, your neighbor's window might be right next to your house, and they might have a view of your code. And very rarely does somebody lock the door inside their garage. I recommend doing that if you use a door code. But yeah, never assume that you share the same intent as a stranger. Um, Just because you aren't harmful doesn't mean others can't harm you in ways you never thought humanly capable. This is often the issue, is we aren't aware of how scary the world can be. If you are good company, then you're most definitely a lonely person for a reason. Um, well, maybe not. Like, there is good company out there with good company. Um, but, if you are a lonely person, maybe there is a reason. Um, but a lot of the time, people don't lock the door. They walk around with headphones in at night, um, leave their blinds open. This is expecting uh, a stranger to have good intentions. This is trusting the world around you, and this is what I'm talking about here. Is we don't know what people are capable of, and it's actually terrifying what somebody could potentially do to another. And this is why I'm all for, um, you know, decensorship. Like, I wish we could show more stuff on YouTube and really see what the world looks like, and and show people how scary it could be. Um, like, I wish I could show you guys videos of myself, and show you guys a little bit of um, my mental illness, which was, you know, active at one point, and I've been able to control recently. I've been getting better, and but this weird way of life that I had, where I had to, um, you know, I had to find confidence in myself, and but it's too sexual, and anyways, I've been doing great now, and I can't wait to move forward in my life. Anyways, let's make this less about me and more about this stuff here. And by the way, I really appreciate YouTube for not banning me for just showing my butt or whatever, or expressing myself. I've seen people that have had problems with them, but they've been very reasonable with me, and and I appreciate it. Having this channel has been so healthy for me. It's incredible, and I just want to thank YouTube for being understanding of somebody with a disability, with issues, and this platform has really helped me um, grow as an individual. So never trust anyone you don't know. In reality, sometimes even people's best friends or family have been the criminal. Trust your gut feeling and make sure you make it a priority to keep yourself safe. Uh, how true is this? Like, sometimes people's best friend or family have been the criminal. Be careful who you're friends with, because I've seen, people, good people, go down some pretty dark paths just because of their friends. Put yourself first and work on yourself, educate yourself, and don't let people peer pressure you or inspire you to be to do criminal activity, because chances are a real friend will steer you away from that sort of behavior, and they will make sure that you don't go down a path that you're going to regret. That's a true friend. Um, an unconscious friend or a bully will lead you down a path that they're going down, and and eventually you'll make so many bad choices that you just don't want to do that. Be careful who you're calling your friend, and you want to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm proud of that person. um, Be your own friend. Look out for yourself. You know, you want to live a happy, comfortable life, right? Well, that's what I'd do for my friend. I want to be happy, comfortable, whatever. So I I I would talk my friend into that if he needed that sort of guidance or touch in their life, um, or hope or whatever. Anyways, this is important here too. Sometimes family will be the criminal. I've seen people, um, I want to say his name. Um, my buddy, let's say his name, forget. Okay, and he didn't have good guidance, right? And people are hard on him. And it's like these people have no idea what it feels like to be a person like that. Like, they're so hard on this kid, and he didn't know his dad. His mother wasn't necessarily a good leader, let's just say that. And, and misguided him, like, taught him that stealing was okay. And I remember I took him out. We were hanging out when we were younger, and it was his birthday, right? And I wanted to buy him alcohol, but he wanted to steal it. And I told him, like, no, like, I'm buying it for you, but this was this was taught to him that it was okay. I'm just saying, like, some of us don't have good teachers, parents that support us, and they're taught these sort of criminal behaviors. And when we're 18, we're responsible for ourselves. Meanwhile, that last 18 years of our life have been full of misguidance. It's scary, right? But we need to understand people, and we need to help people, and come to realize that, hey, maybe that kid walking down the street, dressed like an idiot, white guy, looks like he's got all these stupid chains and his hat's fucking a stupid direction. Like, maybe that kid, and there's no talking sense into it, but hey, maybe he might see you as somebody that he could call a role model. Maybe you could be a role model, and understand that kid might not have parents that give a fuck about him. He might have never had that words of um, instruction in his life that were beneficial. And he might not know what path to take in life, um, that is going to support his future. Some people are just like me, doing drugs. I had to do drugs till I landed up in the hospital, in a rehab. I was on train tracks, and it was inevitable. I was going to end up there. And there's a reason for it. I had to look back at what had happened. Well, there's a good example here of somebody that's on train tracks that people should be looking out for, but they take advantage of because of his circumstance of misfortune, which is wrong. We need to really, this is why I say school systems got to identify issues, and we need to help people like this instead of destroy them. Um, and it's always the kid like this, like him or like me, that go and buy drugs off some fucking asshole that puts other shit in there, and takes advantage of them. Instead of ripping them off, they'll put a piece of glue in your rock, and before you know it, you're fucked right up. You know, the people that should be helped are treated the worst, and misunderstood and whatever. It's sad. Um, really, really sad. Um, and it's kind of strange because I saw him, a couple months back, and he's talking to himself walking down the road, all cracked right out, asked me for a ride. I said no, and I felt bad, and I was like, sure. He hops in my car, and he was just talking to himself, all out of his mind. And then all of a sudden he stopped talking to himself, and he was listening to what I had to say. And I was very strict with him, but he wanted to turn the music on, and he wanted to ignore reality. Guys, turn that music off. Honestly, turn the music off, get off TikTok, and think about the things that are going through your head and put it on paper if you happen to be a person like this. You know, it's just incredible. And then, I felt bad. I gave him some money, I dropped him off, and then as soon as he got out of the vehicle, he was all la da 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 da, just like out to lunch. I just felt horrible. I had given him like some money. I gave him a toonie and a bill. $50 for my birthday. I gave it to him because he's never had jack shit. And he whipped the toonie, and he freaking, I don't know what he did with the bill, but when I ended up in the holding cell, he go figure, he's across from my holding cell, and he was completely out of it. And but you know what? I knew he was an addict, but I gave him the money because he deserves the freedom to make his own decision, regardless of if he was an addict. Okay, I just felt so bad, but some people have no other choice, and it's just incredible. But I was thinking, like, they should put a camera on this guy. I should house him or something, put a camera on him, try to understand what's going on, and see what'll happen if he gets off the drugs, ask some questions relating to his life. But I was like, you know what? I'm in the same boat. like, and I'm in no way, shape, or form to take care of anybody. But I understand that people like this are interesting. And, it's sad to see people that lack guidance and are misguided. And I'm sorry to his mother. Maybe I don't mean anything bad to you, but he didn't have a dad, and he had problems, But I can empathize with him, so I can understand him, which is crazy, because I guarantee not many people can. Oops. Let's get all fancy with it, guys. This is very, very important. I'm so happy I read these. At first, I was like, this is going to be terrible. Never trust a person just because they are a police officer or work for the government. I gotta stop looking over here. Okay. In some instances, these people know exactly who is vulnerable and how to get you. A uniform or position of authority doesn't measure someone's moral capacity, someone's morality, judgment, leadership, this sort of thing. So, what did I want to say about this? Okay, this is what I wanted to say. Some of us with no leadership, we feel like we didn't have a dad or whatever, that care. Like, people like me, at one point in time, I looked at a person in law enforcement with blue on, like they're in a cop car, whatever. I looked at these people like my father, like a father figure, a leader, somebody that would protect me, keep me safe. This is how I looked at him, somebody that I could trust, without a doubt, without a question. I didn't even question it until I needed help and they didn't show up. They wouldn't walk to my door. Like, it's sad. Like, never assume that a police officer has good intentions, um, because I made that mistake, and and sometimes they can't understand, like, how is somebody that was raised in a home with two loving parents, and and were spoiled, no offense, gonna be able to understand somebody that didn't have that guidance, and didn't have that sort of love or relationship in their household. It's there's a separation, a divide between these people, and they don't really understand that this this person had a different circumstance of life events, and there's a reason why they're on drugs. There's a reason why they're messed up, and it's not something they necessarily chose to do, but it's the rail car that they're on, headed to their destination. And this is why it's important to look out for one another, to ask questions, to understand, and so never assume that these people are gonna understand you, because chances are they probably won't. Okay. Anyways, I don't know if I like it dead smack in the middle there. Let's leave it. Let's put it on the left. Kind of switch it up for you guys. I know you guys want all the views. Sorry, guys. I love getting a little personality here, and it's important, like, to be happy and express yourself. Get a little attitude. Especially for somebody like me that has had a difficult time, just exploring and expressing myself. It's good for me to get bubbly and for me to speak up. Okay? Privacy. Not all of us realize everything we do on the internet or computer is monitored by police who may not, or police or the NSA, I don't know. There's a reason why Edward Snowden fucking blew the whistle and fucked off, alright? Who may not be able to trust. These people aren't even accountable for. I posted a video on Only Me on Facebook, walked away only for it to hit 70 views. Be careful, because information is kept private to people who may calculate abduction or orchestrate deception, whatever the case may be, leave you in the dark. Who knows? I know I'd rather be safe and aware. Okay? So, what did I want to say? I had a YouTube channel, Myself the Lamb. It was the Demo Kid, it was Your Angel, it was the Support Animal. It was so many different names, but this is the final name, and I might actually make a new YouTube channel soon. But I literally died on this channel. Like, I got poisoned, kept humiliating myself. I've had cops drive by. I swear I was getting raped in my bedroom, like, or it did happen. And just waking up one day and something felt very, very off. And I tried to reach out on YouTube for help, and I never received it. So even people that may monitor, it's good. It's important to be strong, but just remember that people on the internet, even that you might not even be able to see, might watch you and not even care about your safety. So never assume that reaching out on the internet will help you. Although if it's your only option, then do it. But what I'm getting at here is, even when you post something on private, it is still publicly available to some people, and I want you to be aware of that. So, like, never let anyone tie you up. I can't recommend this sort of activity, even with the most trusted. Learn how to enjoy your freedom of motion, and don't get comfortable with giving others control over you, or domination, or whatever. People without mobility wish they could walk or move freely. Be thankful or fortunate. Like, you could get so creative with your movement and human body and stuff, and You know, instead of instead of letting like a guy dominate you, dominate them. Like, you know what I mean? Um, and you don't need ropes and chains and shit. Just be thankful that you can move, and and be fortunate. Um, Anyways, this one's very important, and I'm sure there's been people that have, went missing like this. Um, don't do long distance relationships. Sometimes this can be a ruse to abduct you, or it could very well be someone who lives fairly close to you, waiting for an opportunity. Um, if you went missing, nobody will know where to look, and this is a big deal. Like, people don't realize, like, when you go missing, like, it's nearly impossible to find you. These people that um, set up this sort of scheme or ruse to kidnap have put a lot of time and thought into this, and most likely it's not their first time if they're doing it. These people aren't getting caught, and this is what I'm afraid of. You know, um, myself, and we want to make this world safer. So security can't. And I find a lot of people that abduct, or whatever, they want full control, and maybe they might want to explore some sort of life, and they're too embarrassed about it. Just be straightforward with your fetishes, and don't fall into these traps or whatever of getting violent with pornography. Like, that's not attractive, and don't do that. Um, you know, treat others how you want to be treated. And if you're gonna sit there and tell me I want to, I want to, oh, I want to be tortured. Okay, let's start with you and only you. Like, you want to be sadistic and what's the word I'm looking for? And a masochist, like, don't do that crap to others. Learn how to get consent, people. Fuck. Uh, Security cameras are important not only for your safety from an intruder or deter one, but also to be accounted for if someone steals your property or identity. Um, this is my biggest fear: is someone in jail because somebody else premeditated something, and stole their property or identity. Imagine an innocent person sitting in jail trying to convince somebody that they're innocent. It's nearly impossible. You're sitting in a prison with people who are guilty, and when you're in that environment, you start looking like the people in there, you start behaving like the people subconsciously. And it breaks my heart to think that it's possible, and most likely it's happened to some people. I've had my freaking van keys go missing, and people don't really understand how dangerous the world is right now with date rape, like, and the potentials people have of being framed is terrifying. You know, but that just breaks my heart right there. If you're gonna commit a crime, at least do it with your own damn vehicle, your own damn identity, on your own damn property. Like, there's nothing scummier than trying to misrepresent or frame somebody else. Like, do it on your own accountability. Wear a fucking mask. I don't give a shit, but you fucking do that and leave everybody else out of it. Okay. Um, Anyways, don't solicit sex. You leave yourself a victim when you let someone have control over you. It's not worth it, and God didn't give you a life to sell your body for sexual purposes. And this is the truth. Um, you know, it's one thing to get curious about, being on on a webcam and whatever, but don't don't do this as a job or even a hobby. It's really not good. And for people that sell their bodies, you leave, sure it's an agreement, but you're leaving somebody else, a stranger, in control of or in favor of what happens for a for money, and this isn't right. Like, it takes the love and affection out of, um, something that should be uh, special, okay? And it ruins the purpose of relationships and whatever. So, like, people like that I'm scared of, hookers and stuff like that. Like, no thanks. Um, Remember, beauty is how you treat others. It's what's inside, and it's not how good looking you are and stuff like that. Like, sometimes these people are absolutely stunning, but once you talk to them, you have coffee, you go out on a date, it's not somebody you'd want to sit down with, and that is so important. Personality is everything, guys, and girls, obviously. Um, you know, don't be afraid of um, being giving making yourself feel special. I know everybody tries to break you down, and but don't be afraid of giving yourself that uh, you know of being a colorful person or whatever, you know. So just be careful, like I said, because this world is not understanding. But be cautious of the places you attend and where you meet people. You are the company you keep, and they reflect you. It's easy to get caught up with the wrong group of people that compromise you. Compromise means accept a standard lower than desirable. Okay? So let's read that again. Be cautious of the places you attend and where you meet people. You are the company you keep, and they reflect you. It's easy to get caught up with the wrong group of people that make you accept a standard lower than desired. Where there are groups of people, there isn't much individual thought process. Be a leader, not a follower. But as long as you are safe and balanced, then don't be afraid to find like minded people. Find hobbies that interest you besides partying. That's not a hobby, guys. Generally speaking, drugs only lead to problematic situations, people, and behaviors. If I go to a bar, I'm going to meet somebody that most likely drinks quite a bit and likes these sort of social gatherings. And just remember, like, if you're going there to meet people, then then do you want to meet people that like big groups of people that don't have much individual thought and like to party and drink, and is that what kind of people you want to be involved in? Then, you know, it's not something I do. Um, if I met a significant other, then it would be a special thing to go and have a drink somewhere, but it would probably be like um, dinner or something. Anyways, uh, be unaware and you can be a victim. And I'm saying a statement backwards. Like, be aware and you can avoid being a victim. I just like to say that backwards because it's kind of like threatening, right? Like, do you want to be a victim? Like, you want to leave yourself unaware, keep your blinds open and be comfortable, then you could be potentially a victim. Like, um, anyways, we'll try to do this. always remember, we are in an unsafe world. We are unaware of the capabilities some people may have. Spend time educating yourself. The possibilities are fatal for some people, and around 100,000 people go missing every year. And you know what? It's definitely higher than that, but we aren't told the true statistic. So, um, in 100,000 people, we're speaking about Canada, is my city going missing twice. You know, that's a big deal. Um, People are born for the purpose of sex slavery and trafficking more often than you think, um, which is, we don't really realize how disgusting that is. Like, people are born for the purpose of sex slavery and trafficking more often than you think. Um, that means that somebody goes missing, somebody impregnates them, and that child is used for sexual purposes. And then that person that is born can never be missing because they never had an identity. How scary is that? That is so sad. And like, this is a world that needs to be um, exposed and dealt with ASAP, because it is happening and we never hear about it. Um, you can't go missing if you've never been accounted for. And the people that are born into sex slavery, if we, you know, started finding these people and freeing them and keeping them safe, and made a community of these people, they would be the people that change the world. And they aren't living to tell the tale, and this breaks my heart. Um, how terrible is that? In Canada, we aren't safe and we are at a disadvantage to the perpetrator. Well, think about it. We don't have information. Um, how many people out there didn't even know what date rape was until I started mentioning it? Like, think about it. Like, it's a serious deal. A liquid or whatever form, it could put you to sleep, and somebody has their way with you, and you wake up and you have no idea. And but somebody else has a memory that you'll never know about. How scary is that? That's terrifying. Um, Predators seek people who they can exploit or find a weakness in. So we might think, oh, that guy's scary, because because they're a bully or something. Remember, these people aren't scary, and if we had public information, we would know exactly how weak some people were, and we wouldn't be afraid. There'd be people running for their lives that we once were afraid of if we knew a bit more information. Um, there will always be a stranger that sees human life for a different set of reasons. Absolutely. Uh, we don't live in you know, society, a community, a world that educates people on how special the human life is, and how to extend ourselves to one another. Um, so they don't realize, like, how do I explain this? Some people just see you as an object, and it's sad. There's an extreme lack of understanding or um, capability to empathize with other people's emotions or human sentience, um, period, in this world. You know, you can simply be game to them, literally just like an animal to somebody else. Trust your instincts. Be careful who you are looking up to for guidance. Absolutely. Um, Sometimes the best advice you can receive is how you feel intuitively. Um, you are smarter than you think. And if people make you feel stupid, then then there's a reason for it, and they're ignorant. And I would definitely block that out, because you are definitely smarter than you give yourself credit for. and listen to yourself if you have to, because you know, I felt stupid for a while, and it wasn't until I started to realize, like, I am just smarter in a different way, that I started believing in myself. And you know, so just remember, like, you are special, you are smart, and you are growing every day. So you'll be even smarter tomorrow. like, and you are beautiful too. Me personally, a lot of guys are like, "Oh, I'm not good looking, this and that." Um, I've always been attracted to the guys that weren't good looking, or might be seen as a loser to other people, because they were, you know, whatever. These are the people that I've been attracted to because I saw them for their personality, which everybody couldn't really understand or see. It's not the guy that's muscular and has all the friends, and is on the freaking, is on a football team or something like this. Um, so believe in yourself, guys. Like, sometimes people like me aren't seeking somebody that is, um, you know, beautiful and this and that. So some people prefer other people, the way that they are, and that's beauty. Like, it's personality. It comes from here, and you know, walk by your own leadership if you must. Um, if something isn't right, and sometimes the people that accompany us in leadership role don't have the best judgment or may misrepresent us. Um, and that ties into the other stuff, like, sometimes your judgment is better than somebody else's, but that person might be, leading you. So you have to understand that, you have that you are smart and you are capable and you know what's right for you. So, um, and misrepresenting is a big deal, um, because when somebody misrepresents us, we might not have friends, but they might, and they might have a community. They might be powerful, and we might not. So, it's important to understand that sometimes something might be taking place that we can't see because somebody else is misrepresenting us. So it's important to represent yourself and to be stable enough to, have your own leadership, you know? And, yeah, so um, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed speaking about that. And, you know, yeah, so got really intense there for a little while. I never expected this video to be this long, but yeah, like, but yeah, I got all that out. It was important to me. Um, I don't want to drive anybody nuts here. Remember, like, do what's right for you, um, and just take happy things from me, or don't, you don't have to take anything at all. Um, but you know, I just want other people to appreciate life more, be happy, and more educated, and stuff like this. But remember, I'm just as special as you. If you're a civil person like me, I'm no more important than you. But there's a reason why I want you to feel more important than others, and that's to keep yourself safe and to protect yourself. Because chances are, if you're a civil person and you're loving and you're whatever, then, you're at odds with the world around you. So, um, anyways, so show you guys some of these pictures. I showed you guys that already. No, all the guys are going crazy out there. I like that picture. Now I'm just showing off. But yeah, I wish I could show you people these pictures because, you know, this is what I've been like in my bedroom, and I'm still kind of nervous about going out in public and expressing myself. So I'll show you guys one more. That's it. So this is when I was working for my dad, but he'd fatten me up quite a bit, obviously, and this was around Christmas time, I think. I want to put more weight on so I can get my butt back to that. But yeah, that was a really difficult time. I was actually sober around this time, and I was 3 years clean from crystal, and I just had I had a breaking point in my life, and that's when I started using again. But I was handicapped around this time, obviously, too. I would go home and literally sleep over 14 hours a day. I was just exhausted every day, and it was important to give myself the time. So yeah, maybe we'll just chill out now. I'm gonna watch this downstairs on the TV. My parents aren't here tonight, so maybe I'll dress up or something, wear something cute. Let's pick it out right now. I gotta go to the doctor's and get my back checked out. Oh, Jesus. I don't want to die, guys. Like, it's funny how much I love life. Being able to find myself and express myself and stuff. And that's why it sucks having so many issues in this community, because I'm forced to talk about things, and I've been acting in certain ways which aren't ideal for me. Like, I don't want to be this comedian on YouTube and talk about how corrupt I feel everything is. I just want to enjoy myself and my life. And yeah, so oh gosh. Like, it's weird because I haven't. Let me turn this off. Put it this way. I've waited for so many years to find this part of myself, or be okay with it, to express it. So imagine how I feel all these years later, living like this new life. Think about that. It's like I've been in a cage for so long, and I've never been able to be myself out, and there's all these new experiences to life that I still have to explore, and it's like this overwhelming sense of excitement, and it's just amazing. Like, I feel like I've been reborn again, and man, I just wish that I can move on from all this shit, and start a journey. And I feel like something that will help is becoming a bit more independent from my family, and kind of just going separate ways independently, but they've helped me a lot too, like a lot. But I feel like I'm too dependent and reliant on them, where it's disabled me, and or whatever. But you know, I can't continue on, working and stuff. I have to really adjust. But I think that this is my calling and it's necessary, and I'm happy. So, but yeah, um, I wouldn't have life any other way, and it's just so amazing, honestly. Like, like I wouldn't, like I wouldn't have it any other way in life. Like I really like being the way that I am. It's a wonderful feeling. Um, so freaking bones always cracking. Oh, oh. I hope I don't have like cancer or something. Fuck. Oh. Check my glands. Make sure they're not swollen. No, I'm not playing with myself. Uh, I'm so stupid. I bought these stupid pants. I'll show you that. Okay. This is my favorite sweater, the teddy bear one. Ooh, little panties. I love this freaking Five Amigo shirt. One day I'd love to go on a safari, but Africa is so hot. Like, I would never leave my room. It would just be like an AC blasting. And the only time I'd leave is to like go see the animals or something. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad, but I don't sunburn either, like easily. I have a few great pants, but they just don't fit me right. Maybe I need to gain a bit more weight. I don't know why I bought these freaking fruit gusher booty shorts. I need to get rid of this. I need to get laser tattoo removal, and that's another thing I'm going to be doing in the future. Okay, so that's the thing. I grew up so unconsciously and forced to not speak about things that were bothering me, where I wore these things as like as things to ward people away from me. And I also did it to disrespect my own body, because I didn't feel love, so I didn't love myself. I never felt the love from anyone, so I started to intentionally destroy my body. And isn't that sad? Like, I did it on purpose to myself in some cases. Like, These are my favorite though, and they're just so comfortable and they show my butt off really well. So, and my little soccer shirt. Yeah, I wear these because they're long and they cover my crotch, and but they also hide my dragon on my arm, which I do want to get removed soon. But yeah. So maybe I will put on an outfit and then it'll be the intro or something. I'll show you guys. Alright, so here's my outfit. Like I said, I'm freaking sore. My legs hurt so bad. So I can't really pull these up that much. But I'm gonna have to go get that looked at. There's like no light on this side. There we go. Oh, it hurts. Maybe just a little wiggle. No wiggles. That doesn't hurt. Alright, I just wanted to show off my outfit. My butt. I was looking for my butt plug, but I couldn't find it, so my webcam sideways, of course. Jeez. That's that. It's super late, but taking advantage of not having people here. My parents are gone for the night, so yeah. Alright, I promised I would make a little video showing off my outfit, and I did, so